Hey, I found a park. This is a really cute, fun park. I forgot what it's called. But look, I'll show you. It's a pretty park. Look. So, I found a park. I got that crack in the windshield. So I could not replace the crack in the windshield until Monday. So since I can't replace the crack in the windshield till Monday, I sat here relaxing, enjoying this park area. It's a pretty nice little park area. And I put my sign right in the front window, but there's not a lot of people that go around here. It's pretty quiet. So I got to have a meeting of the death of humanity for what they've done. It was a pretty cool meeting. Talking to a lot of bigwigs about the distraction of people through their soul. Pretty fun stuff. So I thought I would let all of you join in when you guys are into those kind of things. Now, let me teach you how humans can relate, though. So I was talking to humans and gods and more. Secretly, countries do this a lot. So I'm going to tell you the truth. Secretly, countries do this a lot. This is about like annihilation, destruction of the soul. So it's pretty serious enemies. So, like, if you had an enemy that was driving you to suicide, like you had some bully or you knew they were driving you to suicide, and you knew whatever they were doing to be mean to you, up here you feel like you are going to be driven to suicide. Like you're getting that dark or bad up here or something. See, in the world of gods, that's now considered a very serious crime, a very serious criminal emergency. You can work in secret with gods and do very scary, sickening, mean things to people's souls to make them never want to bully you or be near you ever again. And it's pretty fun stuff. So we were having a meeting about it because it's very empowering. It's very empowering to fight back. It's very empowering to destroy. And like I said, countries, the predominant reality of the meeting was countries. So countries have joined with me. Okay, so there was countries that were against me, right? And have done things against me. Speaking of the crack on a windshield to make sure I spend money I don't have to try to get back to a job that doesn't pay much because they control every job I get through that job. So the United States is controlling a Lyft app to make sure I make however much money they want me to make that day. Then they make a crack on a windshield knowing I don't really have much money to survive, much less to replace a windshield. Of course, I'm just going to be honest and run to some Lyft app place and tell them I have a crack on the windshield. Turns out they just make you not have a job. The United States would have known that. I wouldn't have. So now I'm sitting screwed as a dead poor god, world famous screwed. And they're laughing and laughing their asses off, right? And that's the reality of the countries that chose to be my enemy and face whatever fate or ending the enemies of God will find. Now you have the countries that always worshipped and loved me. The countries that always loved and worshipped me are now in like a secret society with me because we don't like anything but secret society. So if you're being bullied, we'll do anything and everything to protect you guys, but we don't ever want you to talk about any of it. So if you're being bullied, I might want to send a Men in Black, an alien that wears a black and white suit to do mean things to make some bully leave you alone. Why? Because I know deep down they're a serial killer or something. So I might send an alien Men in Black to just be sickening. And I'm going to let you talk to that Men in Black, but I'm not going to want you to ever talk about it forever, ever. That's the secret society side of God against all things. Now, I don't mind sitting here like a loser. I don't mind sitting here like a loser that has no money. Jesus had no church. Jesus had no home. I don't care what the United States or anybody does against me. I'm still God. Forever, every day, I'm still God. When you need help from a hurricane, I'm still the God that can save you. When you need help from anything, I'm still the God that's still God. When Jesus didn't have a church or house and he was walking on the road, he still was Jesus who could save you. Don't get it twisted. Jesus wasn't famous. Jesus was not famous. Jesus was like Picasso. Picasso was like the next one. They're all the same. Picasso wasn't famous until it was already like not fun for him. So Picasso's fame wasn't benefiting him, did not benefit him. Jesus's fame all these years wasn't for him, didn't benefit him. And yeah, I'll probably be the great Bonnie Annika in some church down the way when it has no give a shit today. Just like it had no give a shit for Jesus back then. Jesus wasn't famous or popular. Back when Jesus was alive, the rulers and the cities hated him. The churches hated him. And now in a church, he's famous and popular. See, one day down the way, a Bonnie Annika, the statue will finally be called the Great Bonnie Annika, or the Great Wonderful Evil Queen Mary. So that statue that looks like a cutesy Mary, it was made by God and Jesus about my evil Mary side, and how the most beautiful goodness is evil, because God's became evil originally because everything else gets picked on. So good evil, or the side of evil that's good, a lot of these gods decided to turn evil and understand evil because everything good always gets picked on. I mean, dude, don't you think about these things? There's a bad demon, but there was probably a good demon. Why? Because if there's a bad demon that hurts little babies, wouldn't there be a God who would create a good demon that would help the little babies? Duh. So there's evil on the side of good fighting against evil that's bad. And the cycle will keep going on. The fight never ends. Trust me, in the world of gods, it's a knockdown, drag out. It will always be what it will be. But we just don't want our alien realities to be known. Now, when angels are freely flying around, you can say that you talked to an angel last week or something, but not until the angels are freely flying around. And then only the angels we say you can talk about. So you can talk about certain angels, but certain angels you can never talk about. Probably the archangels, the fighting warrior battle type angels. So when angels are battling angels, you probably can't talk about them too much. But if an angel's just cutesy and lovey and wonderful, you probably talk about those ones. But only when angels are flying around the earth all the time anyway. Right now, an angel sighting is still a big deal. So we don't want you to even say that. We do want you to think or say, my queen, my queen, my queen, for every emergency, all the time, anytime, all the time. We do want you to run to the reality of God for any emergencies, all emergencies, my queen, my queen, my queen, all the time, anytime. But don't say anything about what aliens, what angels, what gods show up and what they do. Not yet. When angels are freely flying around everywhere, we will tell you guys what you guys can do, like out in the open. The rest is a secret society of those that are important to God, and how gods take care of problems with people that they love in secret. So yeah, we're having a lot of meetings with countries about how to destroy problems that countries have and will often have, but we deal with each other in secret. So somebody who rules over Japan is not going to tell you ever anything that has ever happened. You will just know that in Japan, it's always so safe and beautiful. And you'll always know that in Japan, if there's an alien, it's always a pretty nice, wonderful, amazing, fun alien. And you'll always know in Japan that whether it's bad energy or good energy, the bad seems to not be winning ever. And you will start to learn in Japan evil good energy from evil bad energy. So you start to learn the good evil God from the bad evil God. But Japan would never tell you how much they do with gods in secret to get rid of very serious bad dangers or problems. And that's just how that goes. The gods will send alien men in blacks all the time, but people rarely know. But you know what? This is the end of the world. There are a lot of options that could maybe happen. Maybe What I was thinking, so we were having this meeting, and what I was thinking in the meeting with a lot of gods and country giants is that one thing I think that could happen pretty easily, you could become part of the island of gods. So the one thing you could do, even if you're not a country or a big, massive reality, as a basic human, you could still work through my queen, get really, really close with big time gods of powerful, giant realities. And if you could get to the island of gods, you could work with gods and see what it's like to be a country or more, doing very commanding, very scary, very massive things with gods to take care of your areas, take care of different areas, take care of different problems. That would be pretty cool to have the first human that can watch over like a street or a city with a bunch of gods. That's hardcore. It's pretty badass. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if you'd ever want to do that, but that's what countries do. Countries have meetings with gods and work with gods to get rid of problems. And it's real common. But it would be really cool to watch a human end up at the island of gods and get rid of problems on a city street or something. Even if you could only like protect 7 or 8 people, that would start to get really cool to work with powerful gods to do something like that. It's, that's pretty amazing. There's nothing wrong with neighborhood watch and really good people in general, but like that would get really, really, really cool. So if you guys want to think or say my queen, I would hope that you guys do. Okay. Have a good one.